We are Sophie, Cristianisa, and this is our Final Lab project.
This problem is a conjugate binomial, and we're going to solve with the formula a squared minus b squared. Now substitute. 13x to the 4th power squared gives you 169x to the 8th power, and 7y squared gives you minus 49y to the 4th power. This problem is called a binomial times special trinomial. To solve this problem, we need to use the formula open parenthesis a minus b close parenthesis open parenthesis a squared plus ab plus b squared close parenthesis. Then substitute the problem using this formula. According to the formula, the answer is open parenthesis x minus 1/2 y close parenthesis open parenthesis x squared plus 1/2 xy plus 1/4 y squared close parenthesis.
Problem 80. State if a relation or function and state the domain and range. What we have to do to find out if it's a relation or function is do the rule we did in class. If we do this and points do not cross, it is a function. If they do cross, it is a relation only. So since points do not cross, it is a function. To find out if the domain and range, what we have to do is observe the x and the y. By observing the x, we know that this continues to this side and this continues to this side. So it is negative infinite to infinite. Range, which is the y, we can observe goes from negative 1 to 1. So it is negative 1 to 1. If we do the rule, we can observe that points do cross from the top and the bottom. So C is only a relation. The domain can be found here and here, which is 1.5 and negative 1.5. And the range, which is the y, we can observe as 0 and 2. If we go on to B, points do cross, so it is only a relation. To state the domain, we know that they continue. So it is negative infinite to infinite. Our range, since we have two different things, we can observe it is zero, which is here, to infinite, which goes here, and for the other formula, negative 2 to negative infinite. Here we can observe that points do cross as well, so it is only a relation. The domain can be found to be 0 to infinite, and the range is negative infinite to infinite, since here points continue and points continue upwards as well.
First, move both variables to the same side. Now substitute y with its value. Now multiply by the parentheses. Once you got your equation, you need to isolate the variable by using the opposite equations. As you can see, x equals 2. Now substitute x in your first equation and solve. As you can see, y equals 0. Since there is only one solution, your answer is independent consistent.
Problem of complex numbers and imaginary numbers. What we have to do is square the negative 3i. Since we know that negative 3i is 9i squared, what we have to do is eliminate the I squared. Since we know that I equals I and I squared equals negative 1, what we have to do is multiply the 9 times the negative 1. Therefore, we will have 9 negative as our answer.
First, you need to square the parentheses. I equals I squared equals negative 1. Now multiply the outside with the parentheses. Replace I with values. Multiply, your answer is 20i.
Problem 127. Find the axis of symmetry, the vertex, the graph, and the roots. First, we need to find the roots, because the roots will lead us to the points that we need to graph. The way to find the roots is by factoring this. The way to factor it is equal x times x is negative 4 and plus 4. Each root will be taken by equaling each of these numbers to 0. So the first one will be 0 equals x minus 4, and the second one will be 0 equals x plus 4. If we change the x to the other side, the 4 will become positive, and if we change the x to the other side, the 4 will become negative. Therefore, we have our roots. They will be 4 to 0 and negative 4 to 0. Now we must graph negative 4 to 0 and 4 to 0. Our vertex is already stated. It is this. Therefore, we just put the point and we graph. This is our parabola. We can observe that our vertex is this point, so it is 0 and negative 16. And the axis of symmetry is where the graph is cut in half. So our axis of symmetry is 0. Y is already given. We know that y is 10. What we have to do to eliminate the y is multiply the first equation by negative 1. Therefore, the y becomes negative y equals negative 10. And we have the second equation, which is y x squared plus 1. This, we are going to eliminate the y. And since there is no x squared below, we're going to leave the x squared like it is, and negative 10 plus 1 will be added, which results in negative 9 and x squared.